Hello all, welcome to our channel Way to Know. In this video, we will see a simple simulation of a protection circuit used on the GPIO pins of a microcontroller or any IO pin of an IC that is extended out on the connectors of your PCB. Or even if you want an onboard protection as well, you can actually implement this circuit. Onboard, we mean like if you want to have IC to IC protection as well, you can actually implement this circuit. So the purpose basically of this circuit is to ensure that your pin of a particular IC is not exposed to voltages beyond what is targeted or what is the spec of that particular pin of microcontroller or any IC. So whether it be ESD event, whether it be transient event, any of these can be controlled. For transient events, generally we use TVS diodes because they are high power, and the transient could be a very high power scenario where you have to ground that, and also the power handling must be high. So generally for ESDs we use Schottky diodes. For any transient related protection, we use TVS diodes. Now, that's the basic thing. Like people use interchangeably in their designs, but as a specific requirement comes into picture, we have to actually use the required scenarios. Now, talking about this particular circuit, this like example, you assume that this node is in pin of a microcontroller on the left side. Okay, and to this pin, what we are doing is we are actually trying to give 5 volts. Let us assume this microcontroller works on 3.3 volts. Okay, let us not put 5 volts directly. Let us give 3.3 here. Okay, and what we are doing is we are actually giving it to a microcontroller, and on the microcontroller pin we have a 10 ohms in series between the pin and the supply. The purpose of this particular resistor is to limit the current. Like example, when there is a short here directly, the current has to be limited. We cannot like burn the diode here or run excessive current through the ground if your ground is not sufficient to handle huge currents. Okay, there could be boards, right? Your ground might be having huge current, but might be having the capability to handle huge currents, but there might be circuits where this is limited, correct? So you might need this resistor, and this resistor sizing has to be done such a way that you don't actually cause a like a rise or a fall time issue for the signal that is coming here. Like example, there could be a high speed signal that will be going to the pin, and you don't want this resistor to tamper your or affect your rise and fall time of the signals, thereby causing any timing issues. So this resistor selection is very important. It's a trade-off between controlling the current and also controlling the rise and fall time of the signals. So, and then when there is 3.3 volts that is here, okay, so you have 3.3 here on the cathode side of this Schottky diode, and you have 3.3 here. That means this particular diode is in off condition. Okay, and now when you have 3.3 volts here, the Schottky is having 3.3 and ground is 0. That means this particular diode is also off. So under normal working condition, you have this particular diodes in off condition. Now let us assume you give 5 volts here. Okay, there are scenarios here, but we are covering fixed voltages. When you give 5 volts here, okay, so this particular 5 volts you apply to the anode, and you see that anode had a higher voltage. That means this particular diode turns on, right? So when this particular diode turns on, all the current that is coming here goes to the 3.3 volt circuit. Okay, and then now what happens is when you give 5 volts here, the- as this as we mentioned, entire current passes through the circuit, but the current that will be passing through the circuit will be minimal because this has a higher reverse breakdown voltage. For bat 54, I think it's around 30. We need to check the datasheet once. The thing here is, so you need to get a higher voltage for much higher voltage for this diode to turn on, but you have protection on the upper side. Now let us assume you give negative voltage here. Negative voltage in the sense, let us assume minus 3.3. Okay, so what happens is when you give minus 3.3, this diode is off because anode it is at a much lower voltage than the cathode here. But on this case, the anode is 0 volts and the cathode is at negative. That means this diode will turn on. So what happens is, when you give a negative voltage beyond the breakdown of this particular diode, for this particular diode, let us assume breakdown is 0.3 volts. Anything less than minus 0.3 volts, this diode turns on. Anything more than 3.3 volts, this diode turns on. That means there is a channel of voltage between which this particular diodes act as a protection. Now, selecting the diode is one challenge here, because you need to select as low voltage as possible, as low drop voltage as possible. That means the forward drop should be as low as possible. Second thing, as we talked about the high frequency signals, where the resistor plays a role, the diode also plays a role because the diode has a capacitance to ground, and this should be as low as possible. So the challenges of selecting the diode and resistor are the major things which you have to determine in your application. So most of the cases you might not see a model which is available. So you might have to create one as well for simulating. We mean. So let us keep 3.3 volts here. Let us try to run, and when you actually probe here, this is around 3.3, and now when you probe here, you can see it's around 3.3. There is a slight voltage drop. That's because of this particular resistor. So but you get almost the same current. So this diode, this resistor, as we said, is sized based on the current and power handling capacity of the Schottky's. Okay, and then now let us assume we give 5 volts here. The same scenario, we give, you can see here, it is 5 volts, as the green is 5 volts, and you can see the input is clamped to 3.9. Why 3.9 and why not 3.3? Because you have 3.3 here, and then there is a voltage drop that is associated with the Schottky based on the current that is being drawn. Now from this we can approximate that around zero point 0.6 is the Schottky drop. So 3.9, 0.6 here, 3.3, the entire current is passing through this particular diode, and this is protected now. Okay, there isn't any current flowing through this because this is short circuiting the path now. Now let us check the scenario where, okay, what we'll do is we'll try to have this in reverse. Okay, let us give minus 5 volts, okay, or minus 3.3, and then let us try to simulate this. So in this case you can see that, okay, now just for convenience, let's zoom this, let us run this so that you don't get confused. Okay, now if you when you probe here, okay, you see that you have minus 3.3, but when you probe here, the actual voltage should be minus 3.3, right? But what it will be is, it will be the breakdown, approximately the breakdown of this particular diode. So let us try to see this, and you can see here it's around 0.9 volts. So again, this again changes based on the diode used, the resistor used. So that means we are actually clamping it to a sufficient level. We talked about an example of zero point 0.3 volts. Now we have to select a diode such that we don't go beyond that negative, which is actually the breakdown of the Schottky. Okay, so this is how a simple controller protection can be used in your circuit to protect your circuitry IC pins against unwanted transients, unwanted signals, ESDs that are coming in. Thank you.